This morning, Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has died at 71 years old. His office writing, quote, on the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period.
His cause of death remains unknown, but police reportedly responded to a cardiac arrest call at his home and were seen carrying a person away on a stretcher.
President Trump paying tribute to the longtime senator and his close ally overnight, posting this on Truth Social, quote, Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, is dead. He was always working. He was a true American patriot. Lindsey will be greatly missed. Details and arrangements to follow.
This morning, Republican South Carolina.
So as you guys heard there, unfortunately, Senator out of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, has died due to what it sounds like to me, cardiac arrest. Okay. And, you know, it's crazy because, you know, you got all of these different clips of Lindsey Graham literally a day ago, like this clip right here.
So when I get back to Washington, I'm going to go with Senator Blumenthal to the Republican and Democratic leader to see if we can find time to move this Russian sanctions package that would give tools to President Trump to help end this war. So when I get back to Washington,
you know, seemed completely fine, as well as this other clip from a day ago as well.
That Russian sanctions bill would give authority to President Trump to put tariffs on any country that was buying cheap Russian oil to prop up Putin.
You know, it really goes to show you how fragile, you know, life really is and how quickly things can really turn around and change in the blink of an eye. You know, we could be here today and gone a second later, right? Of course, some conspiracy theories have come out. Oh, my goodness, you know, Ukraine killed Lindsey Graham and all that kind of stuff. I'm not buying into it. I'm just not, right? Stuff happens. People die of heart attacks and cardiac arrest all the time. I have a friend who not long ago died under basically the same circumstances, right? He had got up for the morning, getting ready to shower, felt a little tired, so he laid back down and never got back up. And so stuff like that happens. It's unfortunate. It's sad, you know, but that's life, man. That's life. Now, as far as the next part about this, because I know some people are going to ask, so what does that mean for the Senate, right? And before we get into that, I do want to say condolences to, you know, Lindsey Graham's family. I know this is definitely a hard time, especially, you know, when it's super unexpected, when it just happens out of nowhere, you know, like something like this, it can be really, really difficult. I mean, it's already difficult, right, when somebody in your family dies, but when it's unexpected, you know, it's a totally different thing, you know, when it's just out of left field, you know, out of nowhere. So condolences to, you know, his loved ones and his family. But I do want to play this clip to let you all know exactly what is going to happen with his Senate seat in South Carolina, just so you guys have a little bit of insight on how that process is going to go and what we can be looking forward to in the near future. Check it out.
So the seat will be declared vacant by Henry McMaster, the governor of South Carolina. And what they will start to do immediately then, and what I've been told, is that, you know, you can appoint to the Senate. So they would probably appoint somebody, and the question is whether or not they appoint a caretaker senator. And in other words, somebody who's just there, who's not going to run for the seat and is going to serve out the balance of Senator Graham's term, which would end on January 3rd. He had already secured the Republican nomination for another term, a fifth term this fall. And so they would have to have some sort of a snap or lightning primary, I'm told, sometime in the next 5 to 6 weeks. And then that person would be the Republican nominee and would face Democrat Annie Andrews, who's has already been nominated in the fall. It's a Republican state. It probably stays in Republican hands. Now, the question is about the who after that. Somebody I would look at who was on our air last hour is Russell Fry, a Republican from South Carolina. You also have two members of the South Carolina delegation. It's not a very big delegation, who ran for other things, ran for governor, Nancy Mace and Ralph Norman. They lost those primary fights, and they're going to be out of the House here pretty soon. And I'm sure that there will be consultation between President Trump and Governor McMaster as to who they both want and how they want to do this and who their preferred candidate is. Do they prefer perhaps maybe to appoint somebody who then could run for the primary and then serve out the term? Sometimes there's advantages there.
So there you go. There is going to be a replacement of some shape or form to replace Lindsey Graham. And obviously this is all coming at a crazy time because we have Mitch McConnell, who hasn't been seen in weeks, almost a month now, has not been seen. Okay. And I talked about this the other day, talking about, that whole situation and how weird that whole thing is because his wife immediately left like a couple of days after he went to the hospital and went to China. And it's like, why would you leave your husband who is fighting for his life, is what it sounds like to me, and go to a completely different country? That just seems weird to me. Seems very, very strange. It's almost as if he's already dead and she knew it. So, hey, if he's already dead, hey, I'm going to make this trip to China. That's what it sounded like to me. So we may have two senators that are unfortunately dead. Now, I say unfortunately, obviously not a Mitch McConnell guy. Don't like Mitch McConnell whatsoever. Lindsey Graham, I'm not a big Lindsey Graham person either. Right? He wasn't the greatest senator. I mean, if we're just being completely honest. But whenever it comes to death, that's never something that you want to see, ever. At least for me, I'd never want to see anybody die. I mean, I know that's a part of life, but I will never, cheer or be happy about somebody dying just because we can get a win politically because of it. Like, no, I'm just not that kind of person, So condolences to his family. Hopefully we can get a great America First Republican to replace him. Somebody who is going to push forth Trump's agenda and not try to fight against it. So we shall see over the coming weeks how this all shakes out, who kind of, rises to the top. And of course, I'll be talking about it, whoever comes out on top, and we'll be diving into who they are, what their background is, what their record is, and if they're truly America First, and if we're making a mistake again, right? So yeah, man, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. This is, like I said, this is just crazy news, man. Crazy news, especially when we already have news that another senator is probably already dead in a hospital, just being hooked up to machines to keep him alive, because I guess technically if you're brain dead, you're really already dead. You just got blood pumping around still if you're hooked to a machine. So I don't know, man. Crazy times, wild times, absolutely wild times. We kicked out a bunch of rhinos earlier this year, and now we got some rhinos leaving due to unfortunate circumstances. Wild times, man. Wild times. So y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Once again, condolences to the family. I will never celebrate death whatsoever. Nobody could get me to celebrate anybody's death, not even Joe Biden's. And obviously, y'all know how I feel about Joe Biden. Okay? But I will never celebrate anybody's death. That is just disgusting behavior to me. But like I said, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.